What is up, everybody? Ray and Brendan here with Franchise Tag Fantasy Football, bringing you another heater. We're doing our divisional breakdown right now, talking about the NFC West. Now, before we get started, I wanted to bring up real quick a quick partner of ours. We're working with them on their forum. They're the Fantasy Football Advice Forum. You guys can find them in the ticker below. They got some pretty cool stuff over there, so please go check them out. Brennan.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, my man?
It's a Friday. I'm going to enjoy this day and go see The Flash, hopefully.
That sounds... I don't know if I want to see that movie. I'm not too sure.
Something to do.
It feels like I haven't been on an episode in like 7 years.
Possibility.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got any news?
No news. I don't think anything since happened so far. D-Hop's still not signed, so, still looming in the air. It seems like the Patriots, but we don't know. Yeah, that's about it.
I think it's going to be the Patriots. I mean, it makes the most sense. And I know that we're recording this on a Friday. By Monday, he's probably going to have a team, and we're going to be outdated. But if he goes to the Patriots, this is a quick question, I guess, before the show really gets kicked off. What do you think his fantasy value is to you? Do you think he's a receiver one?
No, not if he goes to the Patriots. He's like fringe. I can see him being a fringe wide receiver one. That'd be like wide receiver like 13, 14 fit. Like that'd be his ceiling.
I'd be pretty comfortable going into the season with him as my receiver too, and I think that I feel like I wouldn't have any shares of him because his draft price would probably be he'd price himself out of any roster that I'd have, honestly. Because there's going to be a couple of stands out there that are saying, "Hey, we need to get this guy on as a receiver one." They're going to think that, and I'm not interested in reaching for DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know.
He's currently going 44th overall in drafts, so it's
a little too spicy for me.
Yeah, let's see. He's you would take him ahead of Calvin Ridley or Terry McLaurin.
No.
Yeah, so I mean, I think he's more comfortable right now. I would take him. I think I would stop right between Drake London. I think I'd rather have him than Drake London. So it's like 54.
I was going to say, I felt like in the 50s, maybe even the 60s, I'm kind of more comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't even think I'm so far off of Drake London. I mean, how much worse could that quarterback play be from what we saw from Marcus Mariota? It couldn't be worse, right?
Desmond Ritter's. I don't think Desmond Ritter's the future for them. So I think it could be worse. Not worse, but I don't think it could get better.
It's just going to be even. They're going to stay even.
It's that Spider-Man meme pointing. It's like, I mean, I don't. Yeah.
I have to believe that it's just slightly better. It has to be, right? I don't know.
I mean, they're rolling the dice with him, so they had a chance to, take, move up maybe, but they got Bijan, so who knows what they're gonna do.
I'm excited to see honestly, when we do the NFC South episode, I'm pretty excited about. We're talking about the NFC West today. Brennan, do you want to jump right into this?
Let's do this. So we're going to start from worst to first for this division. So for the NFC West, obviously the Arizona Cardinals finished the worst. Their current win total is set at 5.5 by Vegas odds. And let's just be honest, this team was horrific on all ends. Cliff Kingsbury was a train wreck as a head coach. Kyler tore his ACL midseason, so he's not ready to go for this upcoming season. Colt McCoy is also injured, so the only healthy quarterback right now is David Blau, currently on the roster. They let go for Hopkins. They didn't trade him. They didn't get anything for him. But on the bright side, they have they had a solid draft, and they have a even better draft for next season because they traded away their third overall pick to the Texans, so they can potentially have picks 1 and 2 going into next year where they can get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr. That's a hypothetical situation, but yeah, I mean, they're very prone. This is going to be a very, very bad team. This is going to be again, they'll be in the running for Caleb Williams. So the value pick of trying to find somebody on this team was pretty tough. This offense is going to be horrific, and I'm unsure when Kyler will be back, but I do expect him to be back at some point this season. So Hollywood Brown at pick 68 is worth taking him to be your wide receiver 2 or 3. You're just hoping Colt McCoy makes him viable until Kyler comes back.
Yeah, I would say right now, maybe Marquise Brown is the only target that I'm really interested in. And that's if he starts falling super late, because I mean, when Kyler does come back, he was really viable when D-Hop wasn't there last season. You know, he was getting a lot of targets, but I would say, I mean, when you said Kyler went out mid-season, he was more towards the end of the season.
Yeah, sorry, end of the season. Yeah,
it was. I don't know, man. If he comes back October, I would be pretty surprised. I kind of don't want James Conner anywhere, and I know that he's fallen in the 4th round, maybe right now.
He's 64, so you're getting him near the end of the 5th.
Yeah,
I just, again, like I don't expect this team to be good, so like you're taking a gamble. I get it. James Conner's a workhorse when he's on the field because there's nobody behind him, but like, do you really expect them to be in a game script to be running the ball a lot? I understand he gets receiving work, but like, how much of it is going to happen?
I did notice that without D-Hop, his splits were pretty noticeably better. You know, that's a key marker. But again, draft price, I don't know. You could probably find something a little better in the 5th round. Now, one thing I want to get to before we jump to the next team, just a real quick, because you mentioned it, and I like it. Little spice on a Friday night. Do you think that they're going to move on from Kyler?
If they have the one overall, they're going to move on from Kyler. I think. You trade the contract, you trade him away, you do whatever. Caleb Williams is a more polished Mahomes prospect. Like that's what all the scouts are. They're literally saying he's a more polished Patrick Mahomes.
That's such a.
I'm not saying that, but that's what the scouts are saying. Like I've heard it from, I've seen it in the reports and everything else. Like when you watch him play, he's electric for USC.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm not sitting here saying like you're a crazy person.
Yeah.
But like that's such a bold move for any general manager to make that decision to say, hey, we just cashed out Kyler Murray. He's looked fine when he was on the field, but I've never been a big Kyler Murray fan. Like as an NFL player, obviously in fantasy he's been great, but like for an NFL player, I'm a big fan. But
yeah, that's
so bold.
I think, and also too, I don't know, but like maybe like not an ego problem, but I just don't see his attitude reflect well from other players have even said that his attitude is not the greatest. So I could see them being like, you know, let's just do a fresh start. Let's let Kyler go be somewhere he wants to be, trade him where he wants to go. If you can get something for him, great, whatever. If the contract hefty, obviously, because he's still owed. He signed like a $230 million guaranteed deal. So it's a lot of money, but yeah, you let him go for Caleb.
He'll be a Minnesota Viking next season. He'll be a Viking.
That's a bold take.
I don't know. All right. Anything else?
No, I got nothing else.
All right. What do we got next?
So next is we get the Los Angeles Rams. Their current win total is set at 6.5. It was at 7.5, and it jumped down. I actually jumped on this too. I bet the under right when I saw it because I didn't think they were going to get to 8 wins. Team's still a mess, but last year they went all. I mean, this is the team that went all in the year before, got the Super Bowl, but then they were the worst defending champs of the Super Bowl last year. They had a terrible O-line. Matt Stafford was constantly sacked to the point where he obviously missed the rest of the year. Cooper Kupp had the ankle injury where he missed the rest of the year. And they signed Allen Robinson, but that was one of the worst free agency signings, even though by the metrics he was open a lot. They just didn't get him the ball. So I don't know what to expect this season. I think with Matt Stafford being fully healthy, you know, they're going to be in games. They're going to compete. You know, Sean McVay is a great head coach. But they're going to finally have a first round pick. Who knows? They might trade it by the time I'm talking about it right now. But I think for the value pick for this team is actually Cam Akers. I think Cam Akers is going at pick 66, and he's going as the RB25. I can see him easily finish as like a top 15 running back if he stays healthy and he's on the field.
I think he's a great zero RB target. Great zero RB target.
Yeah.
When Cam Akers is healthy, Sean McVay loves giving him the ball. Loves it.
Yeah, exactly. So like him going that late, I just think he's a super. I think he's a steal in that going that late or mid 5th, whatever round, what do you want to call it?
Yeah, I would say another guy to maybe take a look at because I think Tyler Higbee's kind of fallen down off the board. Maybe a guy that you would take a shot on when you punted the tight end position because he does have games where he can explode for you, get you 10, 15 points, and hey, that's gold when you're streaming a tight end. You know what I mean? So
yeah, he's going in the 11th round. Higbee, he's pick 135. Just want to make sure to do the math correctly there. So
yeah, that's That's pretty good for somebody. If you're punting the tight end, you got to have one on your roster.
Yeah.
Might as well take a look at that. If Njoku's gone, if I think Greg Dulcich would be a good decision. But like, if those guys are gone, I don't mind Tyler Higbee. I think that's like the very end of the list of people that I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, it's a good value pick too. Let me ask you this. I don't know if you were, because I don't know if you were on the train. I think you were off because I think it was just me and Aaron. But Cooper Kupp's going at pick 6 in most drafts. Do you like him there, or are you off?
I'm off. No.
Okay. Let me ask you, why is that? So you gotta have Travis Kelce ahead of him?
Yes.
Tyreek Hill?
Yes.
Bijan Robinson?
Absolutely.
Jonathan Taylor?
That's kind of where the line is.
Okay, so you would have him at 8th overall, basically, because the guys ahead of him are the Jefferson, McCaffrey, Chase, Eckler.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel 8 feels good. 8 feels fine. 6,
okay.
Because Kelsey's most likely going to be there. Bijan's going to be there. That's a really tough decision, but I would like those two. I think Bijan has a chance to be the number 1 running back in the NFL. I think Travis Kelce still has the absolute clear-cut, dominant positional value. What did Kansas City do? We talked about it the other night. Me and Brendan, we were saying like, okay, so Kansas City didn't really make any moves. Maybe all of the receivers they have are just going to be receiver 2s, and Travis Kelce is just going to be the receiver 1, what he's been this whole time. And if he was this same thing he's been the last 3 seasons, pretty nice value there at 6. So I think it's a solid move.
Fair enough. Yeah, I actually like Cooper Kupp where he's at. He's currently going 6 overall, so I would take him where he's at. He was on pace last year to beat his previous record of the Triple Crown, so I think there's not a chance for him to do it again, but I think he can put up some ridiculous numbers as long as Stafford's healthy.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like, is Stafford fully healthy? Is he? I don't know. And like, you're going to hear the camp hype. Oh, he's in the best shape of his life.
That's for everybody. Everybody's in their best shape. Everyone looks amazing. It's always the same things year in, year out for camp. And it's great. We all fall for it. And then we get suckered when we draft him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, is he? Everybody is. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? I bake that into my Cooper Kupp, because if it's like, what is it? Trent Wolford? Is that guy's name? Or
Wolford? Yeah. No, they drafted it. The Stinson Bennett's their backup.
Oh, Stinson Bennett. That's right. That's right. Dark horse guy.
Yep. So
next Tom Brady. That's what they're calling him. Again, camp hype.
That's awful.
Camp hype is crazy.
It's awful.
Don't bite, ladies and gentlemen. Don't bite.
Yeah. Car insurance salesman.
I would have smashed it under as well when you were saying 7 wins. I would have smashed the under.
So the next team, tough division. Yeah, speaking of which, the next team is Seattle Seahawks. Their current win total is set at 8.5, and I am going to bet the under on this team. They had a great run. They obviously were traded away Russell last year. Everyone was like, "Oh, is it Drew Lock? Is it Geno?" And then Geno put on this miraculous season, had the highest completion percentage in the league. I mean, there's not a lot of this team was so much fun to watch. They were high scoring most games. He made DK and Tyler Lockett super valuable in drafts. Kenneth Walker looks great, but then they had the draft. They took JSN, which I think is the obvious replacement for Tyler Lockett. Then they took your boy Zachary Charbonnet, and now that backfield is clustered. And there's some people saying that Zach's going to be the RB1 comes week 1. I'm unsure of that. I'm staying away from both Kenneth Walker and Zachary until like camp starts. It's a little early. Obviously, it's June. My value pick for this team is Tyler Lockett at pick 74, which is like the early 6th round. So he's going around guys like Mike Williams, Mike Evans, like I said, Hollywood Brown. I think he just continues to put up numbers every year. And him and Geno have a nice little connection. So I feel comfortable taking him there.
Okay. My value pick would have been JSN. I've seen him fall all the way down to like round 8.
Yeah, he's going as pick 81, so it's right. Yeah,
I've seen him fall that far, and I pointed this out again in our side conversation here, Brandon. But I wanted to bring it up because I think this is pretty pertinent. You go back for the last 4 years on receivers that were taken the first receiver off the board, right? Not very many of them have been misses at all, and you can argue that, like, let's say Drake London in his class, he was taking the first receiver off the board. He probably shouldn't have been. It should have been Garrett Wilson, or Chris Olave. But if you look at like the track record of number one receivers off the board, they've panned out. They've been as advertised. You couple that with, the fact that Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave are saying, like, separately without being asked, that JSN was better than them, and then the stats that he had while playing with them back that up. I can only imagine and assume that JSN is equivalent to Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, which I see them both as better receivers than DK. So I see JSN having an avenue to be the receiver one in that situation. And in his current draft capital or draft price, great value for me.
Yeah, and I just think, obviously just don't expect him to light the world on fire week one.
No.
Because the rookie wide receivers even Justin Jefferson took a while to become into his own shell. So I do like JSN killing this next season, but I think they're going to ride Tyler Lockett out for this entire year. This is last year. I think they're going to cut him next year and have JSN fill in that role, what he was. So, but I will say, like I said about staying away from Ken Walker, he's going in as 35th overall. So that's way too rich for me to draft him there. Let's see, him or Jahmyr Gibbs?
I'm taking Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay, Aaron Jones.
That's close, Aaron Jones, but that's close.
Okay, and then following that is Joe Mixon.
Oh. It's the Cabernet thing. It really is.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Zach that makes everything really confusing, and I don't know what I want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you tell me real fast if you have it pulled up in front of you? Mm-hmm. Where is Cabernet going? Where is he going? The 5th round, 4th round?
He's pick 104. So he's later. I think it's just a matter of like they don't know. I think it's just a matter of wait and see till like what camp says. Obviously, do not trust what Pete Carroll says. I don't care what Pete. Don't trust what he says. Everyone's healthy for him, even though they are in the hospital. So don't trust his word.
They're literally dead, and he's like, "Oh yeah, they'll be out there."
Yeah,
he's
Chris Carson's
your boss
fine.
that calls you. He's your boss that calls you. You're gonna be on Monday.
Yeah. Chris Carson's really fine. Retires the following. It's. Oh man.
So I would just like to finish on it. Maybe Cabernet is a nice handcuff at 105. It's a nice handcuff. I like that because Seattle pounds the rock, and you can get a bell cow like that. Ken Walker might not be ready. Might be the guy. I didn't know that. I thought he was going a lot higher.
Yeah, no, he's going pretty late. Not late, but later. So, yep. And then on to the retaining champs of the division, San Francisco 49ers. Their current win total is set at 11.5. This team started off with Trey Lance. He snapped his ankle week 2, which was unfortunate. They brought in Jimmy G. He gets injured, and then who lights the world on fire? Brock freaking Purdy. Dude goes, 8-0, 7-0, whatever it was, and this team looked like they were going to make a run for the Super Bowl. And then obviously he gets his injury in the NFC Championship game, and so on and so forth. But this seems very interesting just because, like, obviously he's still trying to work through this surgery, his recovery time right now. And it's crazy because, George Kittle just had the interview and he was saying, Brock Purdy's the starting quarterback. Like, just totally dismissing Trey Lance and Sam Darnold, obviously, who they signed. But, like, for them, I think it seems like Brock Purdy is going to be there week 1. It seems like that's what they're hoping for. That's what they want. And, for them to trade the farm away for Trey Lance and him just to be there, like, I don't know what they're going to do with Trey Lance. I hope they do trade him. I hope he goes to a team and gets his chance. But I think if Brock Purdy is a starter, it boosts up all the guys around him. Because I was still leery if Trey Lance was the guy. But if Brock Purdy starts week 1, a lot of the San Francisco starters get a little bit of a boost because I think he's a little more competent throwing the ball. He's not going to run a lot. It's going to be a lot more of what Shanahan likes to do. So my value pick for this team is Brandon Ayuk at 75. So I like him a lot there. And this is my bold claim. I think he outscores Debo in fantasy. Oh, this is Ray just sent me a text here.
I want you guys to know, like, before we started this show, he said he had a hot take on San Francisco, and I was like, I'm gonna type something. I know you're gonna talk about it on the notes, and I'm gonna send it to you while you're talking about it. It was Brandon Ayuk. I'm super, super high on Brandon Ayuk. I think that he's a breakout candidate waiting to happen, and if it's Brock Purdy. If it's Trey Lance, that changes things. That's a little different. And I know we're pretty early right now. We still got, training camp coming up and things could change. I still don't know if Brock Purdy's going to be ready for week 1. I need to see it. I need to see him throwing in training camp to believe it.
Yeah, George Kittle said he saw him throw the ball and he looks fine, but obviously that's his teammate hyping him up. So, who knows what it is actually happening. Yeah, it's a great shape guy. But yeah, so I think Brandon Ayuk has a real chance of outscoring Debo this year. In fantasy. I think that's a legit possibility. And I know it's crazy because Debo's going way earlier than him, but I see Brandon Ayuk being the wide receiver 1 for this team. It's a big possibility. So
we're big Ayuk guys here at Franchise Tag Fantasy Football. I'm
Ayuk my way to the championship.
He's a guy that I want to have shares of. If this is my asterisk onto that, if Brock Purdy is throwing in preseason, if he plays in a preseason game, then I can 100% wholeheartedly believe that he will be starting week 1, and Brandon Ayuk will most likely be a 1,400-yard receiver.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, 1,400.
That's how high I am on Brandon Ayuk.
Okay, you're way higher than me, but
maybe 11. 1,100 sounds more right.
Yeah, I was that's more reasonable.
Let's shoot for the moon. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's what I got for this division. I do think 11.5 wins though is a lot. I have them going under. I think I have them at 11 wins.
Somebody has to have over 10 wins in this division.
Yes,
and that's a slim line to take. I wouldn't bet on it. That's a slim line.
Yeah, my only thing though is that this division beats each other up. I don't know what it is. Cardinals play the Rams, whatever when the Rams were good, the Cardinals still beat them. Rams play San Francisco. For some reason, those two always duke it out. Seattle. It's just it's a fun division to watch. I do like watching their divisional games. There is a rivalry there between these teams. So
yeah, and I think that your Seattle record, I can see Seattle getting to 10 wins. I can see it. I think they have a good roster. I think that if Geno continues to do what he's doing, that's my dark horse to win this division for sure. But
that's a bold take.
I mean, there's nobody else in this division I want to win. So, but I don't know. I think obviously, again, with Brock Purdy, I think that the Niners are most likely going to be in contention to be in the NFC Championship this season.
Yeah, I think Eagles are 1 and they're 2. I think it's pretty definite those are the 2 teams.
Yeah, that defense is too nasty, and they didn't lose really much.
No, they didn't. And they added the Eagles pass rusher. Why am I blinking his name? Hargrave? Yeah, I think that's who they added in the offseason.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah,
we're not a defensive. We're not an IDP.
IDP.
We're not an IDP kind of group here. We don't like IDP. If you play IDP, get that trash out of my face. Get it out of my face. But still watch and listen. We're not going to talk about it, but still watch and listen. All right. Well, anything else, Brennan? Is that it for you?
That's all I got.
All right. Well, guys, please hit those comments. Let us know where are we wrong at? Where are we right at? What do you like us to maybe talk about in the next series we have? We're trying to gather some ideas because we are rounding up into the real deal time for fantasy. We're right around the corner from it. So if you guys could, please make sure that you guys go check out that fantasy football advice forum. Please make sure that you hit that like, hit that subscribe. Make sure that you let us know what you're thinking in the comments. Please, I'm begging you, please let us know. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.